Some breaking news to share with you, and it's good news. Inflation in May came in lighter than expected for yet another month. Inflation below economists' expectations every single month since Trump took office. We were told with reliable certainty that inflation was going to skyrocket because of Trump's trade war. We were promised a cratering economy. We were going to be eating each other's livers. Going to be like the dawn of the dead. We were going to be roaming through the streets like zombies. Funny how there just keeps getting to be more and more good news just looking at numbers. I mean, numbers that show polling, Trump keeps getting more popular. You know what's astounding is his popularity right now with immigrants. Now, this is pretty crazy. Here is Harry Enton, the numbers guy over at CNN. He's in a perpetual state of shock. He can never believe all this good news keeps coming Trump's way. But apparently it does.
Let's just sort of start off on the fact that immigrant citizens, immigrant voters, foreign-born voters have gone tremendously to the right on this issue in 2024 and 2025 versus where they were in 2020. Closest to or trust more in immigration. You go back to 2020. Democrats, get this, held a 32-point lead on this issue. Immigrant voters were in the Democratic camp. Jump forward to 2024, 2025. Look at that shift, a 40-point shift to the right among immigrant voters. Republicans now lead on this issue by 8 points over Democrats, more so than any other group that I could find.
40%,
the group of voters,
a 40% shift from 2020 to now among immigrants. 40% shift from the Democrats to the Republicans. Americans like what they're seeing. Don't get distracted. And I admit I get distracted. I read an article in Axios this morning, and I started thinking about how I feel in my heart. I have to admit, it hasn't been my favorite thing to consider an illegal immigrant who snuck into the country years ago and did nothing wrong since then. Didn't commit any crimes, maybe worked at a company or raised their family, paid taxes, including paying taxes into the federal government. And there's a way that some illegals do that in hopes that they might be considered for citizenship. So you think about that. They paid their taxes, didn't commit any crimes, kept their nose clean after sneaking into this country illegally and breaking the law. Should they be deported? And I admit, not my favorite thing. I like the idea, of course, of criminals being deported. I absolutely accept that if you're a troublemaker, if you've committed a crime, if you're a drunk driver, if you've hurt somebody, if you've done anything wrong, you got to go. But what about the people who haven't done anything wrong except illegally immigrate here in the first place? And that's my heart getting in the way of my brain. Because the truth of the matter is, as compassionate as that might sound, it's the wrong conclusion. And let me tell you what won me over. Because I saw that article this morning, Axios, the big showdown. What do we do about the illegals who have done nothing wrong since they got here illegally? And to Axios' credit, they were fair about it. They acknowledge it's against the law to immigrate to this country illegally. That is, in and of itself, a crime. But what about those who haven't done anything illegal since they arrived here? Well, I saw a young man's clip on TikTok last night that I had to share with you that completely brought me back to earth and grounded me in the reality of where we currently are.
Bro, you came here illegally, so you're getting sent back. Like, I'm not really understanding where I'm supposed to feel bad. Like, it's the law. Like, what? Am I missing something? Like, we also can't do that. We can't go to other countries illegally and just pop up and start working and all of that. without things in order, without abiding by their laws. And to be honest, it's a much worse punishment if we end up doing that. I feel like America is being generous. Y'all are getting caught and then being sent by a plane or sent by a bus back home. That's pretty generous if you ask me. Like if I go to Russia and try to pull that off, I might not come home. They might lock me up for 50 years for trespassing. Like I'm confused. The media is trying to make us feel bad, and they're like, oh, this person was 15 years old. He was a hard-working boy. He was in high school, blah, 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 and he was an illegal immigrant from Guatemala. Bro, you lost me. You lost me. He's illegal. So I'm sorry. Like, that's just what happens. I can't feel bad no more. Everything you said before that is disregarded. I'm sorry.
Isn't he right? Isn't that completely correct? Now, I would only qualify it. I do feel bad. You know, I think about a hypothetical Mexican who opened up a pizza joint in, I don't know, Greenville, South Carolina, on Main Street. Been there for 30 years. Wife, 3 kids. Came here illegally 30 years ago. And the feds come in, swoop him up, and send him and his wife and his kids back to Mexico. I feel bad for him and his wife and his kids. But I also feel bad for a lot of families who are torn apart and disrupted by lawlessness. That's why we're working so hard to send a bunch of kids to summer camp. These are kids of prisoners. And I feel bad for the choices that the parents made. I feel bad for the kids who are suffering. Of course I feel bad if the hypothetical guy in Greenville with the pizza place gets deported. But he made the choice to sneak into this country and break our laws. And if we make an exception for a certain category of illegals, we keep the floodgates open. We incentivize everybody to continue to sneak into this country illegally. So this has been a little bit of a personal struggle. And you know me, I bare my soul as often as I can. I wanted to tell you what I was struggling with. And I admit, I hate the thought of some of these people being sent home. But that guy is right. That TikToker is correct. If we tried to do this in another country, we'd be lucky to ever come home. We might wind up in a jail for a long time. We're not locking up illegals indefinitely. We're deporting them. That's what Trump's mass deportation is all about. And it's not a mystery here. Trump promised this. He campaigned on it. And he was elected. And according to all the polling, most Americans approve of it. Just wanting to seek the American dream isn't enough if you try to seek the American dream illegally. And there's no other way around that. 800-655-MIKE. I mean, I get it. I truly do. And here's a text from South Carolina. I know lots of people who want the American dream, but if you do it illegally, you got to go.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.